Hey everyone, welcome to Moms in Real Estate. Today we have a phenomenal guest. I love this woman. Her name's Cris Figueroa, and she's been in the business for 10 years. She's got 5 children. She's got great stories to tell you. She's great at softball, and she's really pretty. So let's get this started.
Angela Fazio is an industry powerhouse who has overseen 40,000 homes sold and $9 billion in production. And Kristen Cantrell is one of the nation's most accomplished team leaders, helping thousands of agents build their businesses. They are passionate about educating, encouraging, and empowering moms in real estate. Our next episode starts now.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
So who knows how today's going to go? I've got a granddaughter running around. I've got dogs busting in and out. My kids are everywhere. So we're just going to play it by ear. Hey, Kristen, how are you?
Good. Doing great.
And Chris. We've got Kristen that way and Chris. Chris, a little background about yourself.
About me? Chris, not Kristen. I have 5 kiddos. I've been in real estate for about 10 years. I coach softball and play. Grew up back east, moved here about 25 years ago. I think that's almost native though, because it's hard to find somebody that's been here that long. Just that's some basic stuff.
Yeah,
I've been here that long. I'm a native.
You're
very nice.
I know. There's hardly any of us. My husband is too, so it's kind of crazy.
That is crazy. I've been here since I was 19, which is over half my life.
Yeah.
I know, nuts. I love it out here.
I do too.
So let's talk about how you got into real estate, because it was 10 years ago, and your youngest is 10, right? So your kids go from 10 to what?
10 to 22. My oldest is 22. She's married. I have 3 at home, 1 in college. My youngest is 10. I kind of got into real estate because when I had my baby, she was really ill for about 4 years and in the hospital about once a month for about 10 days until she was about 4. We had hospital bills just racking up. And my next door neighbor was a really great agent, and her transaction coordinator had just had a baby. So she was needing some help. So I kind of popped in one day and started helping her with paperwork, and she ended up hiring me and training me as her transaction coordinator. And it just kind of took off from there. I love it. I love the paperwork part of it. And I actually think that's the best way to get into real estate. I learned all the back end of it and everything about it and all the, docs and forms and all of that kind of stuff. And so shortly after that, I got my license and just kind of went from there.
Yeah, that's awesome. You've done really well for yourself as well.
Yes. Yeah. It's fun.
I love this story because I feel like so many women are in that exact situation where they have a little baby at home and they want to do real estate, but they can't really get out too much. And TC work is such a great opportunity for a new mom to get their foot into real estate.
It is. It's such a great thing. You can do it from everywhere. It's most of it's online. There's a couple of times where I had to go, pick up packages or contracts to scan them or whatever, but that wasn't very often. But yeah, it's a great way to learn the industry and get into it, get your foot in the door, be at home, be able to take care of your kiddos. It is a great way to get into it.
How quick did you realize you wanted to go into production and not do the paperwork part of it?
Fairly quickly, probably about 6 months or so. I had my license. Yeah. So it was more of it also where she was like, hey, get your license so you can go show these houses. And we ended up kind of being like a little team there at first. And then I ended up breaking off and going with another agent in her brokerage and helping him start his brokerage. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it was fairly quickly. But again, that's the great thing about real estate. You can totally manipulate your schedule to what you need it to be.
2 things about that. First of all, I know there are tons of agents in the business that have been in the business for years and years that probably haven't even ever read the contract. That's how pathetic.
That's so true. It's so true.
Like you could read it over and over and over and over. That's what makes some people.
Sorry. I told you I have a kid walk by.
It's okay. Angela's golden doodle that's bigger than her is going to show up soon.
I know. He's right here wondering what's going on. I think he's hiding from Charlotte, to be honest. You want to come up here? Do you want to show everyone yourself? You want to come up here? No? Okay. He will. He's hiding from Charlotte because Charlotte runs after him with the brush. Say, brush. So that's one thing. And then I just love this industry so much because honestly, it doesn't matter your personality style as long as you have one, and you care about people.
Mm-hmm.
And you can enter in so many different ways and reinvent yourself because you've been TC, you've been an agent, you have been on a team, you run a brokerage. So there's so many ways to reinvent yourself in this business, which is why it can be such a rewarding career.
So
it
true.
is. And I love that. And that's the one thing that I love about real estate. You almost have to reinvent yourself all the time. It's like always changing and to kind of keep up with things, that's what I like growth. I like to learn. I like to always be changing. And that's kind of another reason I got into being a broker, and I love teaching, and I want agents to be able to do the contract right. And so I love teaching them and going over that, training new agents. My favorite agents are brand new agents. I love to bring them on and help them out, teach them the ropes and how to read the contract and what it means. And you're absolutely right. There's so many out there, and dealing with them when you come across them for a contract is a nightmare.
It is. It's hard. You can come teach some contract classes at our school.
I love you.
So I want to talk about real estate is super rewarding. It's a great career, but it's certainly a career that you have to go through struggles. I know that I could probably make a list a mile long of some things that has happened over time, some of which have molded me to the person is today. There's one that I can tell you about almost made me quit,
Mm-hmm.
So talk to us about a little bit so the people out there can know it's not all you have to struggle through this business to be really good at it and to learn. So tell us a little bit about that.
Sure. Yeah, no, you're right. There are a lot of struggles. And I think if you have the right attitude and you go into it thinking, okay, what am I supposed to learn from this? Because we have struggles on a daily basis, right? Some of them are tiny, some of them are big, but we have them all the time. One of my biggest struggles that I went through, about a year and a half ago. So in my journey, after I was transaction coordinator, I helped this guy start his brokerage. I broke off with him and hung my license with another brokerage. I had a friend, actually, our kids are really good friends, approached me about becoming a business partner with him and helping him build his brokerage. And so I did, and we went into partnership together, and it ended up being kind of sour and not working out super great. A lot of promises made that were never kept, and ended up being where I was just working and not getting the benefits that I had been promised. And so through all that, I've learned when I eventually broke off, of course, it was really bitter, and I started my own brokerage at the time. When I broke off, I had quite a few listings that he wouldn't sign over to me. And I had been working on them for a while. They were $1 million listings, and they don't go very quickly, and it's a lot of money. And, I have 5 kids and I got to feed them, teenage boys. So anyway, he ended up not paying me my commission for those. And that was rough. It was one of those times where I'm like, what am I doing? Do I need to quit? This isn't worth it. I'm tired of it. And our kids are friends. So it's kind of like we were really meshed together, right? And sorry. And so it was one of those things where I had to really dig deep and find out who I was and what I wanted to be able to get through this. And the biggest lesson I learned from all of this is money is just money, and it comes and it goes. And that was hard, right? That was a lot of money that I lost, but I also think that it taught me that there is a lot more important things. And I've never really been driven by money. I've always been driven by the service aspect of real estate. I love when my clients find the house and just the looks on their faces, especially the first-time buyers. But the biggest thing that I learned from that is you just have to let some things go. And if it's a lot of money, then it's a lot of money, and you can work hard and get it back later. And so I just took away I'm sure there were many lessons that I was learning in all that, but yeah, just you got to keep plugging away and work hard and not let those things just really bring you down. And I can't let his actions determine my future. So and my happiness, right? Only I can make me happy. And so it took me a little while. It took me a few months, actually, probably 9 or 10 or 11, maybe 12, trying to get over that. But I'm in a good place now with it. And I took my lessons and I apply them, and you just got to keep plugging away.
Yeah. Struggles are, I love them. I believe that God, I don't love struggles, but I love the fact that God brings struggles and we get to choose our responses, right? We can let it make us bitter and let us quit and hold us down, or, draw us away from community, or we can process it. And if that doesn't matter, and come out the other side, this wonderful person who values people and relationship and is, by the way, a little more careful.
Right, exactly.
Well, and your takeaway is just so important from what he did to you. I think that shapes like your future. And I think that's so important to like always lead with a servant heart, and the money will come. And if you're just always thinking about the money, like you just don't even have fun anyways when you're doing that,
Exactly.
Money isn't happiness.
So for us to, we get a lot of times in this business, like we were talking the other day, and like we have people that, do us wrong, and then it's easy, like you're saying, like to get super upset about it. But there's so many good people in our industry, and trying to focus on that and the positive situations, definitely like try to keep that at the forefront of your mind.
That's so true. There is one other thing that I learned that hopefully it can help too, which was, and this might be hard for me or hard for a lot of people because I'm stubborn. The hardest thing for me was to actually feel those feelings and to let them be, and to kind of marinate on them for a while, because you don't want to feel like that, right? And you want to get over it. And it took me a while. And I learned that there is no time frame on that, right? You have to get through it, and you have to learn what you need to learn and feel those feelings and kind of move on from them. But there's, I wanted it to be done quick. I didn't want to feel like that forever. And so when I felt like it was dragging on, it was, that's hard. But I kind of woke up one day and I was like, I just want to be happy again. Like how can I be happy? Well, I can make myself happy. I can't depend on anybody else. And so you have to process through all of them, and you can't shove them down, and you have to actually feel it. And if that takes a little bit of time, it takes a little bit of time. So
yeah, that's so true. One of the things that I think you either said or wrote on your questionnaire is about, we want it now. Like we want to be able to set our mind on something, and I'm a doer and I'm a driver. And there have been, just like you were just describing, you made me think of a situation where I thought I was over something, then all of a sudden I'll sneak back up on me. I'm like, why am I still letting that bother me? Like, why can't I just will it away instead of going, well, it's just something that takes time. And for an impatient person like me, that is hard.
Yeah.
To have that keep popping up. And I have to ask myself, well, it's popping up again for a reason. So what does that mean? What do I have to do? How do I need to adjust my thinking, or how do I need to move forward and be more careful? I don't know what it is, but I'm like you. I want it to be like 2 minutes and it's over and I can move on. And that's just not always true.
Right. Right. And if it does keep popping up, you do have to reevaluate. Why is this? And that's not to say you forget what happens, because I'll never forget what happens. Right. But we have to remember so that we don't repeat it. But there's a difference, between dwelling on it and remembering it. And so.
Ooh, that's good. There's a difference between dwelling on it and remembering it. That is so good. Oh, look at you giving us a golden.
I told you there's like this big transformation that happened to me in this last year. A lot's happened, and you just gotta. That's life, right? You have to let it beat you down, or you got to stand back up.
So how do you decide now about the different business relationships that you choose to go into? I know that you don't feel like you should never partner or work with anybody again, but how are you going to proceed with caution? Like, what have you learned about that?
So I'm not the I don't trust everybody type of person, and I don't want to be like that. I think we're born to like naturally want to have relationships and to trust people and so I still want to do that. I just am a little bit more cautious now. I just my vetting is a little bit longer. I want to get to know people personally. I know, Kristen, and the last time we talked and you said business is just business, and it's not to me. I mean, you didn't say that. You said it's personal. And a lot of people say business is business, but it's not. It's personal. So for me, it's 100% personal. And that's why I love you ladies, because I want to get to know you. I want to be friends. It's not about business until you're my friend, and then we can move forward. And that's kind of how I am. I'm very selective on what agents I take, and not that, I just want to make sure that I'm building good values and good people. I don't want someone to just hang their license and they're looking for the next deal. I want people that want clients for life, and they have the same mentality as me, and we're here to serve them for life and not just to get to the next deal. And so, I feel like my agents are my friends and my family, and I can call them for anything. I can call them to go show a house for me, or I can call them to come help me change a tire. And that's the kind of people that I want around me.
Yep. It matters who you surround yourself with.
Mm-hmm. I love that.
Wait, this way. That's why I love this girl right here. Oh, spatially retarded.
It came into my screen.
I think it's backwards. See, I'm easy. Just like this.
Yeah, it is.
Do you know how many times it takes me to put my shoes in a box? I don't know what's wrong with me. Spatially, I'm retarded. Like, I go and grab the shoes and I'm like, oh man, I always get it wrong. That's a terrible thing to have to admit, but it's true. That's why I was like, which way? Down, okay. I can do down. What was that? Squirrel. I didn't sleep so well last night. Obviously. So you are also extremely competitive, which I think helps in real estate. I don't know. I'm really competitive. Yeah, right. But your outlet has been, pretty seriously in softball.
I do. I love softball. So I started playing when I was 3, and I remember my parents signed me up. Obviously, I didn't wake up one day and be like, Mom, I want to play softball. My mom signed me up. And I remember I was so little that we would roll the ball to first base. Like, if we caught it, we would roll it. We didn't even throw it. And so that's how long ago it was. So I've been playing softball my whole life. I played all through high school, all through college. I played co-ed all through having my kiddos and stuff. And now I coach. I was coaching the high school out here. This was my last season. It was so sad because of COVID. I missed most of it. I think we only played like 4 games, but I've coached a club team, and currently right now I'm coaching my daughter's little league team. So it's a great outlet for me. When I'm on the field, I don't have my phone. I take off my Apple Watch like for an hour and a half, 2 hours. It's just me and the girls. And I just love it because it gives me a break. My mind's only thinking about what's going on in the game. And it's a big outlet for me. I love it.
Yeah, I think that's a mistake that some moms in real estate or in just life in general, they don't give themselves any outlets. Mm-hmm. They think they have to be all things to all people, all things to all your kids. And that's a really good lesson for people to learn if you're trying to do everything. I mean, we all get like that sometimes. I know, Kristen, you and I have talked about that quite a bit. About
that all the time.
Yeah. You've got to have something for yourself, and you've got to have something that gives you some peace and some joy and a little bit of a different focus. I won't say the word balance because it doesn't exist.
There's a mom that was on Moms in Real Estate probably a month ago. Her name's Mandy from New York, and she literally said the same exact thing you said. She played soccer, I think, and she would say, like, when I'd be on the field, like on the playing soccer, and like my mind was in that this sick feeling she had in her stomach of just a ball of stress would be like the only time it was gone. And
yeah, she did. She was really, really, really serious about soccer, like super good, like you were in softball.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's that's another thing that kind of came out of this past year. Cause I'm one of those people, Mom, do this, or Chris, can you do this? And everyone calls me and I'm like, yes, 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 always. Yeah. Right. And so I've learned to say no now, finally. At my age, I'm finally saying no sometimes. And I might have taken softball a little bit to the extreme. When I'm coaching 3 teams and I have no time, that might have been a little much. And so that's why I let high school and club go. And now I'm just doing little league, and that's with my daughter. So it's quality time with her as well. But yeah, you definitely need an outlet. And I don't think I had that before. And I look at it totally different now. So softball time is kind of me time. And before it was like, oh, I got to go coach. Oh, I got to go take care of these girls. And so really in the past year, I've literally just been kind of focusing on me and what I need so that I can be in a good place. And, you know, you've heard the saying, you can't pour from an empty cup. And that was me for a while. So you just have to take the time for you to fill up your cup, because you can't help anybody else if you're not.
That's the truth. Oh my gosh, that's so true. God, you had a lot of good golden nuggets today. Well, we also the 3 of us tend to be extremists, a little bit of extremists. I know just in our conversations. So when we do something, we don't ever kind of just put our toe in. We kind of go all in. And that can be really good in lots of ways, but it also can create this stress. Like softball is supposed to be an outlet. It's not supposed to turn into one of the stressors, right?
Yeah, right. Exactly. Yep. As long as you recognize it, though. It took me a while. For whatever reason, things are taking me a while to figure out. But yeah, as long as you recognize it, yes, absolutely. But I'm like you. I'm all in or I'm all out, and that is really good in a lot of ways. But it's also really bad.
Yep. One of the things I say a lot that Dave Ramsey said and taught me and my husband is, you have to say no to some really, really good things so that you can say yes to great things.
Yes.
And that was a real lesson for us, right? And so now we're much more comfortable with no being a fully complete sentence. No. Mm-hmm. You know, not because it's not good. It's just, it's not great for us at the moment or whatever.
Yeah, I love that. That's funny you said that. I was talking to my daughter the other day, and she kept saying, blah, 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 but. And I'm like, you can't say but. Every time you say but, you negate everything you just said. So just say it and be done, period. So no, period. There's no but.
That's right. Because usually that turns into an excuse. Oh my God, don't get me started with that. Anytime one of our kids says something that's a victim whiny baby comment, we are like, brah, don't be a victim. You know, we're a little bit harsh that way.
No, I'm the same way. I always tell my kids, be a problem solver, not a problem maker.
Yeah. So I don't think there's anything wrong with taking a while to figure certain things out, because sometimes the best and most long lasting, meaningful life lessons take us a while to figure out. So don't criticize yourself for that. That is something that will stick, because you get to the end of it and you're like, why'd that take me so long? I'm never going back there.
Right. Yeah. Well, and the best things do take a little bit of time, right? And that was another thing I had to work through. I had to make it what it is or what I am now. I have to take the time to do it. So, yeah.
Well, I want to thank you so much for sharing so many personal things during our time today, because I just know for a fact that women need to hear these things. We are in process. We are learning. We're not all perfect, right? And I hate when I see all the fake stuff out there making people just pretend like everything's so great and so perfect and so put together and you've got it all figured out. It's just not true. And I'm so grateful that you were vulnerable enough to help us see that there's lots of us out there that are just trying to figure shit out.
Yes, we're all,
especially this year.
Right. All right.
Struggle.
So any last words of advice or last little nuggets anybody wants to throw in before we let everyone go?
I don't know. Just be you. That's so important. Don't let anyone else shape you except for you. And if it's hard, it's hard. Let it be hard. And when it's good, just value the good. I think that we as women try to be everything to everyone, and we kind of lose ourselves a lot. And so just always come back to you.
I agree. All right, chickies, thank you so much for today. Enjoy your time with your vacation in Florida. And
Thank you. All right. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye.
See you.